It is only 37 days left until competition, so we are getting closer. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a rush here, so that's why I'm doing no car talking today. But I will be back, trust me. This was one-time occasion. The plan is gonna be front lever training, and it's the first one back after the deload week. So I'm expecting to be pretty strong. And the first set is gonna be just taking a band I think I can perform about 4 or 5 reps of, depending on the exercise, or about 5-6 seconds maybe when it comes to hold. That's gonna be the first set, and then the second set for each exercise is gonna be just adapting depending on how the first set went. And yeah, that's gonna be the plan. So let's get started. First up, front lever pull-ups to top hold. I'm gonna try to get 4 reps in total, so pull, hold, and then that times 4. And I'm guessing the final ones are not gonna be complete top hold, but still pretty far up. And that's gonna be good enough. And like I said, in competition, most likely just gonna do 1 of them. So this is more than enough for preparation. But I'm facing one challenge today, and I forgot my headphones. So it's gonna be a bit rough. In statics, I feel like it's alright, but when it comes to freestyle, if I don't have my headphones, I'm almost screwed. And that is not good, because then it becomes a need, and if I don't have them, I'm gonna have a worse performance, which is not good. Because in competition, for example, it's not always that you can choose your music. You gotta be able to perform no matter circumstances. Maybe this is good as well for competition prep. Let's get started. Especially if I want to get my top hold pretty good, I need a lot of false grip, and thereby also need a lot of choke. Being first set, that was actually really good. Remember this band, last time when I did planche, we measured about 10 kg down here, but front lever is a bit less, maybe 8 kg, so not a lot of help, and I'm happy with that. Front lever has always been my stronger skill, so not too surprised, but still feels pretty good. Let's do 2 more sets, since we're not on a deload. Let's get set number 2. Exposure looks decent. It's really hard with sun, because we have reflective windows. Sometimes you get overexposed or underexposed. But this looks alright. Set number 2. The thing I'm slacking a bit on when it comes to front lever or top hold especially is that my legs are pointing a bit upwards usually. So I'm gonna try to focus to rather like overextend the hip a bit, so really push my hips up, and rather be in this position than the hips downwards and my legs pointing up instead. So rather won't look like a banana this way, because that's hard. So that's what I think about. And then usually I just drop down into right position. But in my mind, I'm thinking overextend. Let's get it. Feels pretty good. I did train, yeah, we did it in the rings, train the top hold. I mentioned this before. When it comes to these movements where you do a pull and then you want to stop in the top position, it's not necessarily the pull that's the hard part. The hardest part is that we're usually pretty uncomfortable in this top hold, where it's not strong enough here. For me, because I can rep it out, usually do a few reps with touch, but if I were to hold it a bit here, maybe maximum 2 without the resistance band, there's a huge difference. Therefore, I did train just top holds before, so I'm comfortable here, because then when I actually done the pull-up, I'm stronger here and don't get as exhausted. Let's do 1 more set. Final set. Let's get a form check from the side. In general, I feel pretty damn strong in pull today, so probably gonna be a good workout. Pretty decent, I think. You saw the form, so you will be the judge, but felt pretty strong. Especially if I only do 1, I'm really explosive in the first 2. Then of course I start to get a bit tired, but first 2, extremely good. So I think even without the band, at least 1 extremely solid, and that's in theory all I need for competition. But it's always good to have a bit extra, because in competition I'm gonna be a bit more tired. Circumstances are different as well, so have few in reserve. It's always a good backup. Next up, 1 arm front lever. It can be roughly, let's say max hold, but I'm aiming for about 5 seconds. Then do a pull up and then just mark it, the front lever. So maybe 3 seconds, 2 to 3 second hold. And I'm gonna do this 4 sets actually, because 1 set is gonna be on 1 arm. So then in total it's gonna be 2 sets per arm, which is good enough. Yeah, that's the plan. I entered it the wrong way again. I will never learn. Much better. concern is definitely not the pull-ups. It is the one arm front lever. That one is heavy. But my explosiveness in pull-ups is still pretty good, even after a one arm hold. Let's get some rest, a bit longer than usual, so 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'm gonna do the left arm. Entering the right way, it's a good start. And now let's do it, same thing, but on the left arm. Huge difference between my right arm and left arm. Right arm is 100 times better. Maybe not by looks, but how it feels. And in my opinion, that's the major difference. Like I feel good in one arm and right arm, no pain, controlled. Left arm, I feel like if I were to be weak or a bit tired, I could not rely on that arm, so huge difference. Let's do 2 more sets, 1 more on each arm, and I mean, eventually this one will catch up, feel good as well. Set number 3, and we're back to the right arm, my favorite one. Expecting to have a decent hold. Oh yeah, huge difference. I did say there's no difference in form, but I definitely think there's huge difference. Thing with right arm is I managed to get the shoulder down and my chest a bit more up, and that creates the, let's say, better form. Like in front lever, you want to have the chest up, so you can look like this. If the chest is down, it's gonna be more banana form. And that's my one arm on the left arm, which is not good, but it's something. Let's do 1 more on the weak one. Final set, the left one. I'm gonna try to do everything the same on left arm as with right arm, especially how I enter it plays a major role. So a lot of false grip, then like I said, chest up. But this is where it's a bit too heavy on the left arm, and that's where I lack strength. Oh, fucking cramp in the toes. Let's reduce the false grip. Let's see what we can do. No, that's bad. Yeah, like I said, huge difference. I did get a cramp in my toes. Usually don't get it, but with this one I just had to give so much strength. And I think it's because I'm lacking, let's say, the essential muscles. Like for me to have the arm in the right position, I don't have the strength for that. So I lose the position and then I need to make up for it with other muscles. And thereby making it extremely hard. Form is not good. Like I said, I couldn't even perform it right now, so definitely not too good. At the same time, in competition, I'm only gonna perform it on the right arm. So I would say I'm still gonna train this one, but I will have to rethink how I train it. Because doing attempts like this, it's not gonna give me too much. But now, let's move on to next exercise. Next up is the Victorian. This one I did during the deload week. The same thing I did from just a dip position, fell back down into the Victorian. I'm gonna switch it up a little. One thing is gonna be to do 3 sets. Last week I did 1 set, or 2 sets only. So adding a bit more. And the first set of these 3, I'm gonna actually do a swing to handstand. And then from handstand go down and then into the Victorian. Because that's more likely that I would do during competition. And I will get a bit more, a bit higher heart rate and not really exhausted from my handstand, but it still simulates it a bit more like competition would. But that's gonna be for first set, or first set in the set, if that makes sense. I know this was confusing last time. I don't really have a good way to explain it, but, or first rep maybe I should say. So I'm gonna do first 1 handstand down to Victorian. Then I'm gonna do just 2 Victorian holds, 2 more, 2 seconds each, and that's 1 set. Fuck it, we'll just get to it, you'll understand. That was like 1 rep. Then it's 2 more, but without the handstand. Just the other day I was wondering why I had such like muscle soreness in my triceps. I think this is the one. I did last week, I did some Victorian during freestyle session, also this Sunday. Those two combined, I think that was made my tricep feel really heavy. Because this is almost, you know, a negative dip or negative impossible dip when I'm going down to it. So doing that repetitively, that's where it's gonna make me exhausted. Either way, first rep here was pretty good, that one from handstand. Then of course I get a bit tired, so each rep is gonna be a bit further down with the bum, but still decent, I think. But let's do 2 more sets of the exact same thing. That's number 2. I checked the form, and the one from the handstand, pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, the last months of just training Victorian, adding it more consistent, having now every pull training, game changer. I've improved a lot, because like this during training, usually worse. In competition, in static especially, you usually have a bit better performance, because the adrenaline, the dopamine, the hype, usually a bit stronger. So if during training the holds are this good, competition is gonna be really high level as well, which is nice. That's what we train for. Let's do it. Same procedure. Holy crap. Not the most beautiful holds in the end, but at least not slipping like like last session when I fall down on last ones. So that's improvement, but it's harsh. I have one clean rep in me, and then the other ones, of course, get a bit worse and worse, because it's an underrated skill in my opinion. Like the Victorian, it takes some time. It's hard to compare it to like front lever. Sometimes I get to ask the question like, oh, if I have front lever, how much do I need to train to get the Victorian? It all depends, but I would say that there's a significant jump in between those two. Like for Victorian, you really need this last pull strength, and just by doing front lever, I don't think that's gonna give you a Victorian automatically. Of course, some strength is gonna be transferred, but you need to target this specific, let's say, range of motion, because you barely never hear training, or at least not just for front lever. And then of course muscle connection as well. Get used to the movement. Let's do one more. Final set for this exercise. A lot in the Victorian is about leaning backwards. If you don't get full extended like straight arms and full lean backwards, the form is gonna be really hard to, right? It's gonna be hard to get a good form, because as soon as I'm bent a bit, my upper body is pointing downwards, and I need a lot of core strength to get my legs up. But if I have full extension backwards, it's easier to push up. So that's the goal. But of course it's extremely hard, and that's why I really need to think about it. Rather be here with a bit sloppy form than be here trying to give my all and still get a shit form. Slipped a little bit with the left arm in the final one, but it was decent.
Holy crap.
In general, these calisthenics movements, you're giving literally 100% of your strength. When I do reps and stuff, it's pretty fine, because you know it's a lot of reps and you start to feel like, oh, I'm getting tired and stuff. When you're doing just a few holds, from one hold to the other, it can be a huge difference, because you need to have this like 100% strength. As soon as you drop down to like 95, you lose the form and you're screwed. So in general, all calisthenics skills extremely underrated, because you need to be peak performers to actually do them. Let's move on. Last session I did mention that I might add something extra to these workouts, or to the pull workouts, because they go past pretty quick. And this is that something. I'm gonna do front lever top hold, and this is gonna be without resistance band in the end of the training, which means that I'm pretty tired. And I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but just to get a feeling of it when my body is tired, exhausted, and simulating competition. So top front lever hold. I'm gonna try to do 1 pull-up and then just a 2-second normal front lever hold. And if I can perform that, that's pretty good. And then just do this 3 sets. And this is the additional thing to these workouts. And new music, so this is gonna be pretty rough. I think it was all right. Roughly 2 seconds, top hold, decent form. Might have pointed my legs a bit up, but since it's in the end of the session, no music, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's do 2 more sets. Set number 2. Let's see if we can have a decent performance on this one as well. I'm gonna try to not get the legs too high up, have them pretty solid in the top front lever. The other one is pretty decent, I think. Bit more rough, but it works. Considering it's the end of the workout, it's absolutely fine. Let's get this final set. I also saw that my legs, I don't know if I'm fully extended. It looks like they are a little bit bent. At the same time, I don't know, might be pants as well. Sometimes that can be hard. Either way, I'm gonna try to extend the maximum and then of course think of the same thing as before. Pretty damn solid. Let's move on to chin-ups today. Final thing for today, chin-ups. Last week I did 20 kg, but that was for deload. This time it's time for 40 kg, which is more than I did before. So progressive overload. But this is pretty damn heavy. So I'm not expecting to do 10 reps. Haven't tried this weight, but aiming for maybe 6-7 reps. Good ones. Then do 3 sets. I think that was 7. Lost count after 4, but decent. This isn't necessarily for competition preparation, mainly just for fun. And of course it gives me some strength as well, but mainly just because I enjoy doing them. First set felt pretty damn good, so see if we can do 7 for the second one as well. Why the fuck do I lose count? Let's do 1 more. Feel a lot of times when I do heavy reps, if I just pause for like 2 or 3 seconds, take some big breaths, I can most of the times always do like 1 or 2 more reps. Because common mistake I do is I forget to breathe. That's not good. I need oxygen. Let's do 1 more. Let's get the legendary back shot for the final set. And the final one for the whole workout. I have 1 mission this time, and that is to actually count the reps so that I know I make 7. I think I did 7 for the last 2, but to be honest, I can't be sure. I lost count. No, I'm just joking. I think that was 7. This is also big difference is how good your grip is. I just haven't tried to do it with the wraps, but if the grip is bad, it takes a bit too much effort just to hold it, and that strength that I'm using, I could be using to actually put up the weight. So I always make sure to chalk up. Huge difference. This was good. Let's wrap it up. All right, last session I did mention about lighting. It was extremely light outside, and that's good for filming, but when it comes to muscle, let's say how muscular you look, it's not too good. But having the light straight from above, that's probably the best way. So like now, this is not really what it would look like, but since the lighting is really good, I look bigger than I really am. Let's get a back shot for the first one, since that's what we did. Decent. Front as well, we did activate it a little, but not the main muscle groups. Decent. tricep. Pretty solid. I also gotta mention one thing. I'm going away to the Netherlands in just a few days, so I'm not gonna do vlogs for 1 week, unfortunately. I'm going there to do content and everything, and that's gonna be the main thing, so I don't really wanna vlog it as well, because that's not the reason I'm there, unfortunately. But after 1 week, I'll be back on track and we're gonna grind again. And today was a really good session, so I'm hyped about that. Had more power, to be honest, than I thought I would have. So I think this competition as well, it's most likely gonna be one of my best. I'm not gonna say too much, things can change, but that's the mentality I'm gonna have now. I'm gonna destroy. Also, a quick mention again about the community thing. A lot of people seem to be interested, so every day it's moving more and more towards that we're actually gonna make this happen. So if you missed it or don't know what I'm talking about, check out the link in the description, because I have all the information there. And drop a subscribe and a like if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in 1 week. Stay hard.